The action in this shot are just going to be the protagonist's facial expression. So I'm just going to go to Cartoon Animator 4, then import the model. So I'm going to be importing the protagonist, which is Ethan. So let's scale him up. So I'm scaling him up, and then I'll be reducing him back in After Effects, so that I'm going to get a more sharper resolution. So let's go back to the storyboard. Looking at here, we have to set him up in this pose. So I'm just going to go back to Cartoon Animator 4 and click on this motion key editor. So you can record a reference video, record yourself doing the action you want your characters to do, then you are going to follow it and animate them frame by frame. So I'm just going to use ice perspective to animate this character here. So select this arm, then let's rotate. So rotate, but we need this watch at the other side, we need the watch to face up. So I'm just going to cancel this, then go to this composer mode. So we are going back to edit the character. So you can just click on this PSD. So it's going to launch PSD editor. So let's launch this, and we should edit that in Photoshop. So here is what we are going to do. We are just going to be flipping this arm by creating another sprite. So this is the arm now. Let me just zoom in. So I'm just going to select the layer, then press Ctrl J to duplicate, then go to edit, transform, click on flip horizontal, then go to edit back, then transform, flip vertical. Oh, I don't think this is what. Okay, we don't need to flip it vertical. We just need to flip it horizontal. So I'm just going to press Ctrl T, so that I'm going to rotate this like this. So we just need to rotate this and place it where that is. Oh. So it needs more rotation. Oh, that is too much. Okay, I think that's the perfect rotation. You can just use 120. I think 120 will be okay, but you can just do it manually. So I'm going to be leaving it like this. Then let's click on OK. So this another layer is going to serve as sprite. So you can just close that, then save this. Now you can go back to Cartoon Animator 4, then it's going to update your previous layer. So you are going to get an update here. So this is it. You can just, it's changed, but you can just change their layer and she gets this to the back and hide one of them. But I'm just going to be leaving it like this. Then let's save this character. I'm just going to update it. So Ethan, then save. So you are going to get an updated file when you check the resources folder. So let's wait for it to save finish. So you can just go back and click on OK. So once you go back, you see the watch is back up. So if you want to change it back down or the pose you want, you can just click on sprites. So this is the sprite icon. So you can just select the hand, and this is the second pose you see. So we are going to be using the first one. So I'm going to change his facial expression as well. Ctrl K for that. So bring it forward, and let's change his mood to anger. Somebody that wants to commit. Let's try. Then I'm going to okay. So I'm going to go back to morph, then select his eyeballs and hold and drag them down. He's actually going to be looking at his watch. So I'm just going to go back to my motion key editor so that I'm going to edit this in. So this I've already unclicked that so that I can just move this around. Let's click on this. So I'm just going to move this here, then move this somewhere here. Let's take this back here. So I'm just going to Ctrl Z. So you don't need to be doing this if you have already recorded a reference video, but we can just work on this like this. I think this is actually great. You can let's bring this arm down. Yeah. Okay, I think this is nice. So I'm just going to be okay. This is actually at the back of this character, so you can just go to layer. I think this is the icon, so click on layer, then let's select the hand. Is actually the right hand. So let me see, right hand and then right forearm. So I'm just going to bring the two up. So that's actually great. So this is going to be like he's operating something. So I'm going to be leaving this for like 1 second. Let's try 1 second. That's 30 frames. So click on this, then change this to 30. So I'm just going to select OK, and let's add some animations here. We can leave this screen like this, but it's going to be great if we add some animations to it. So at 10 frames, I'm just going to just his facial expression. So let's drag it down a bit. Then I'm going to go to my timeline. So click on face so that you can see the face layers. So just expand this. Then I'm going to double click on 20. So the keyframe at 20 is the same thing as the keyframe at 10 frames. So there's going to be no changes here at all. So I'm just going to go to 20, then double click on the eye. I'm not sure what the keyframe I want. So I'm just going to change. I'm going to collapse this. Then let's change this. We can just move it to this side like this. So I'm just going to save this and export this. So let's save this as Ethan watch. Let's save it as something like that. Okay. So I'm just going to render this out now. So click on this render icon. Then video, we are selecting MOV, transparent video. So frame size, we are going to change it to 1080p. So you can move this up so that you can see the export. So I'll be saving it as the same name as this, so that anytime I want to locate it, I can get it. So you can just click on export and wait for it to render out. So when it's done exporting, let's go to After Effects, then import it. Let's just drag it into the project. So I'm going to locate the file. Okay, turn on watch. So let's drag it into the project, then into the timeline. So we are using this. So I'm just going to bring him here. So we need to change, I think, yeah, we need to change this view. So we just need to, I'm going to scale that view up. Let's go back to After Effects. So we have already parented this. So any scaling or position we added to this 2A will be added to 2B and 2C. So I'm just going to increase the scale, S for scale as usual. So bring it here. We can scale it up more, but I think this is okay. Yeah, let's try and scale it up more. Okay, I think something here. So we have to put this character under 2B so that it can look like he's not in the room yet, but he's actually somewhere here. So this is okay now. You can change this resolution back to full. So you are going to get a sharper view, but I'm just keeping it as quarter so that you can render out quickly. So this is actually great. I'm just going to leave this animation for 30 frames. So you can just go to 10, then select all the backgrounds. Then let's go back to something like, yeah, 29 frames after. So Ctrl Shift D, then let's bring all this up. So you see, that's great. So we are done with this shot now. We are done with this shot. So I'm just going to save this file